Okay, UFC Abu Dhabi, Whittaker versus Der Ritter taking place this weekend. I only have about 35-40 minutes to make this video. That should be enough, but I'm probably going to speed through it a little bit, just in case, because there is kind of a lot I want to talk about on this card. Let me get my face cam all good, all good. All right, starting off the card, Martin Buday, versus Marcus Bukichika, some shit like that. I'm gonna go with Marcus because Martin Buday is like, he's just a fat guy. He's fat. He's very slow. And who did he rob? I think, what was his name? Sadi Aldiev or something like that. I think Sadi Aldiev won that fight pretty clearly over Martin Buday. But Martin Buday got the win. It is what it is. I don't think Martin's good. I think he's just a fat guy that likes to throw hands. Whereas Marcus, I mean, okay, look at these two pictures here. There's something on my glasses. Look at these two pictures here. Look at Martin Buday, his body, and look at Marcus's body. Not that it means everything, but at heavyweight, it typically does. Marcus he's got abs, he's in great shape, and he's a great grappler. He moves well for heavyweight, he's powerful, and he can grapple. So I'm going to be taking Marcus by submission here. First 2 rounds. And that's honestly, I see him just moving a lot better on the feet, probably landing the better shots as well, and then he'll take him down and sub him. That's how I see this fight going. And yeah, moving on. Muhammad Yahya versus Steven. I believe you say his name Steven Wynn. I believe that's how you say his name. Because when I was watching his fight on the Contender Series, that's how they were saying it. So I assume it's Steven Wynn. You got to go Steven Wynn here, right? I mean, Muhammad Yahya just isn't. He's not good. You know? He's not good. So I'm going with Steven Wynn here. They both never won in the UFC. I believe Muhammad Yahya's 0-2 and Steven Wynn's 0-1 officially in the UFC. But I mean, Muhammad Yahya, he lost to Trevor Peek, and he's very breakable. Muhammad Yahya's very breakable. I've seen him break in multiple fights. He broke against Trevor Peek, and he broke against whoever his other opponent was. And Steven Wynn, he's explosive and powerful. 0-1 in the UFC, but he has a knockout, I believe, on a Contender Series. So he just looks better. He passes the eye test a lot better than Muhammad Yahya does. I see Steven Wynn getting a TKO here, and probably like round 2, maybe even round 3. So Steven Wynn will take this one over Muhammad Yahya, who will move to 0-3 in the UFC. Moving on to Ibo Aslan versus Billy Elikana. This is what I wanted to talk about for a minute here, because Ibo Aslan's very dangerous. He's not the best fighter, but every win is a knockout win. He's got 14 knockouts, strong and powerful, and he's a slugger. Just someone that you could just kind of hate to go up against because he's dangerous to everybody. But he can be beaten, like he was this last fight against Ion Cutelaba. That was his last fight, I think, right? He submitted him. It's just not a good look. I mean, don't get me wrong. Ion Cutelaba is good. He is. I believe in him. But Billy Elikana, he is. Man, I don't even know how to feel about him because he's a really good grappler, dude. He really is. Billy Elikana can fucking grapple his ass off. And even though he lost to Guskov, which I have something to say about, he was dominating Guskov for like the first 4 minutes of round 1. Took him down with ease. Had his back with ease. And he was just... Not much was happening. There wasn't much damage. But Guskov really couldn't go anywhere. So he was looking really good. It looked like he could have gotten the submission. But, I mean, even in the last, the last minute of that round, Gustav reverse positioned and started wailing on Billy Elikana, I still gave round 1 to Billy, even though the damage was just slightly on the side of Gustav. He just didn't do enough. But round 2, it was like Billy Elikana was like fatigued, as if he just was through like a 5-round war. I'm like, what are you so tired for? You had his back for like 4 minutes, but you weren't throwing crazy shots. You weren't trying super hard to get a submission. I don't know what you're so tired for. And then he gets hit with a shot, and he just kind of goes down on his knees, and Gustav even backs up for a second, and he's still sitting there like this. And then Gustav's just like, okay, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to submit you? So he puts Billy Elikana in like a guillotine and just fucking submitted him. He just tapped out. I mean, he gave up. I mean, that's what that was. He gave up. So I don't know. I guess Billy Elikana's mentally weak, and he gives up at the first sign of any adversity. That's what his first fight against Gustav showed me. So I don't know. I can't pick him. I can't pick Billy Elikana. I'm going with Ibo Aslan. I can't pick Billy Elikana simply because of that. I can't watch a fighter simply give up like that with absolutely no urgency or no want to win or continue. And I just can't trust that. You know, I can't look at Billy Elikana and go, he's going to win. Because any sign of adversity and he just gives up and says, please, I just want the fight to be over. Just please win. Please win. You know? I'm going with Ibo Aslan because Ibo doesn't do that. Ibo fights to finish, and if he gets finished, oh well, he tried to go for the finish. So I'm going to go with Ibo Aslan by knockout. Because if Bogdan Gustav's getting you out of there like that, I think Ibo Aslan can. So I'm going to go with Ibo Aslan by round 2 knockout. Because Ibo Aslan finished all of his wins, so clearly he's dangerous. 100% finish rate. He lost to Ion Cutelaba, but he was hurting Ibo. He was hurting Ion a lot. Ion Cutelaba needed that takedown to survive the round, and he ended up getting submission. So fair play to Ion, but I think that Ibo's quite dangerous, especially to someone who gets very submissive when things don't go their way. Moving on to Amanda Ribas versus Tabitha Ricci. I'm gonna go with Amanda Ribas, and honestly, the reason I'm going with Amanda Ribas is just kind of the finishing potential. Tabitha Ricci, I just don't think she's that good. You know, I don't think she's that good. She's sexy and baby shark and all that, but I don't know. Amanda Ribas, I feel, is she's the better striker, and she's stronger. I don't really see nothing in Tabitha Ricci that I don't see anything in Tabitha Ricci that should make any opponent fear. Amanda Ribas has got some nasty kicks. There's at least something to fear when you are going up against her. So, and I think if anyone's getting a finish, it's going to be Amanda Ribas. And in saying that, if it goes to a decision, I see Amanda Ribas just having the bigger moments. So I'm going to go with Amanda Ribas by... I can see it being a split decision, to be honest. I'll go Amanda Ribas by split decision. Moving on to Davy Grant versus Damon Blackshear. Now, this fight, I actually do not have my mind made up. I'm going to make it up during the breakdown. Because Davy Grant is one of those guys where it's like almost no matter who you match him up against, he's going to be competitive. He just is. Because Davy Grant loves to fight. He just loves to fight, and he could take a lot of damage, and he's powerful as hell on the feet. Hits really hard. He's just, he just is somebody you never just want to be standing across the octagon against. Damon Blackshear, on the other hand, I believe he is technically better than Davy Grant. And I think that his grappling and submission abilities are very underrated. He is one of only 3 twisters in UFC history. So clearly this man, he's a phenom on the ground. He really is, Damon Blackshear. But it's just like, the last few fights, he's been taking shots weirdly on the feet, as if shots are really hurting him. I mean, I thought What's his name? Dude, he was on Tough. His face is in my head, but I can't remember his name. I'm drawing a blank. It was like 2 fights ago. It's like every shot he was laying on the feet was like almost hurting Damon Blackshear. I'm like, bro, what are you doing here? I mean, he ended up getting the sub, and that was probably his worst performance. So I don't know. Man, I just feel like with how he was getting touched up on the feet, I mean, if Davy Grant just starts to land some, he might put Damon Blackshear out. And didn't Damon Blackshear get put out in like a few seconds? A straight 1-2 against drawing another fucking blank. No, I have to find out his name. Let me look it up real quick. Damon Blackshear did get put out like that, right? I gotta make sure, because I don't want to be spewing absolute nonsense. Montel Jackson. Did Montel Jackson just put him out like he was nothing? He did. Just a 1-2. Dude, it was fucking... Damn. Cody Gibson was the guy? Was that who that was? Cody Gibson? Was that who was putting hands on the Mom Blackshear? I don't know. I'm a... 32. 733. For the sake of a pick, I'll go Damon Blackshear. I think he can grind out rounds, to be honest. I think he'll probably be grapple heavy here and make it hard for Davy Grant to land, and he'll take these rounds. I'll go Damon Blackshear by... How old is Davy Grant? Oh, his age ain't on here. Damn. I'm gonna go Damon Blackshear by decision. I'll go Damon by decision. But this is a hard one, and please do not be surprised if Davy Grant wins. Davy Grant is the underdog, right? Okay, they're all NA. Whatever. I feel like, dude, if Davy Grant's the underdog, which I bet you he is, there's some real value on that. Moving on to Muslim Salikov versus Carlos Leal. I'm gonna go with Carlos Leal by round 1 TKO. I think this is a handout. This is an easy fight to predict. It's gonna be Carlos Leal by round 1 knockout. I don't see any other possible way this fight could end. Carlos Leal, in my opinion, 30-27 Renat Fakardinov. He won every round, in my opinion. So for him to win that was one of the biggest robberies of last year. I believe that fight was last year. Yeah. That was one of the biggest robberies of the year last year. So bad. It was so obviously a Carlos Leal win that, like, I left the room after the fight had ended, and I come back and I had thought for the next like 2 fights that Carlos Leal had won until I looked and I was like, hold on, what? They gave it to Renat Fakardinov? This is crazy, but that's what you get when you are a Muslim fighter and you fight in Abu Dhabi. You get the Abu Dhabi buff, man. Every judge, every ref, every commentator is on your side. Though I will say, I don't see this touching the scorecards at all. I mean, 3 rounds is a lot of rounds to be in there against Carlos Leal if you're Muslim Salikov. So I think he's gonna get Muslim Salikov out of there. First round, second if he's lucky, and judges won't be there to rob Carlos Leal this time. Cause Muslim Salikov, isn't he like 42 or something like that? He's like very old. And a win over Song Kenan, yeah, that's not holding up, bud. Moving on. Bryce Mitchell versus Saeed Nurmagomedov. If you guys didn't see, I'm starting my underdog of the week picks back up. I saw that Saeed Nurmagomedov is an underdog. I said, no chance. I'm taking that. I'm snatching up that underdog pick, snatching it up. This is how you pick underdogs. So, I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. Maybe Bryce Mitchell at 135 is going to be a different beast. And if he is, fucking fair play to him. Fair fucking play to him. I just think that even if he is better in this division, Saeed Nurmagomedov as an opponent in your debut in a new weight class, man, that is just so rough. That's such a rough debut because he's a rough matchup, dude, for anybody. He's an incredible striker, an incredible grappler, and he's a submission grappler. Fights to get the finish every time, and he submitted Gufarov, right, who had never been finished prior, and he submitted him in like a few minutes or like less than a minute even. Bryce Mitchell has been submitted twice now in the past few in his recent career, and as much as I think that Gene Silva is really, really good, and I will be picking Gene Silva to beat Diego Lopez. So as much as I think highly of, I was just talking about him, Gene Silva. As much as I think very highly of him, I think Said Nurmagomedov is a better submission guy, you know. And Bryce Mitchell, the way he goes in for takedowns, has always left him open to front chokes, and I think he's obviously going to shoot in this matchup because Said Nurmagomedov is way better on the feet, so he's going to shoot, and Said Nurmagomedov, in his nature, is going to latch up a ninja choke, I think, and submit Bryce Mitchell in the first round. You know, I mean, Bryce Mitchell was able to escape a few ninja choke attempts from Gene Silva. I don't see him escaping any against Said. If Said gets one in, dude, it's over. It's wraps. And I don't see a scenario in which Bryce Mitchell doesn't shoot a takedown into a ninja choke, with how often Said loves to throw him up. So Said Nurmagomedov should get this done. And yeah, sorry Bryce Mitchell. I just don't think he's that good. Moving on to the main event, not the main event, main card. Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov. Now, I have never been on the Bogdan Guskov hype train, I guess. I've never thought he was just straight dog shit, but okay. I was reading something. I've always thought that Bogdan Guskov was not trash, but I don't think he's that good. I see a lot of people saying that could be a top contender, and I'm like, where do you see this at? I don't know if it's just because I just haven't been watching his fights correctly, but I don't see what everybody else sees. Now, to be fair, I did pick Nikita Krylov in his last fight against Dominic Reyes. I said he would sleep Dominic Reyes in the first round. And I was wrong, but I'm happy I was wrong because I really, 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 really like Dominic Reyes, and seeing him get that win was very nice. But I would pick Dominic Reyes to beat Bogdan Guskov, so I'm going to pick Nikita Krylov. I'm going Nikita Krylov. I think he's going to beat Bogdan Guskov. Bogdan's powerful, but and here's the thing. He can be grappled. That is one thing in this matchup that I'm really, 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 really looking at. Nikita Krylov has more wins in submission than any other method of victory, and he's a very well-rounded guy. I think Nikita Krylov is going to get this done by submission in round one. Nikita Krylov, he was competitive with the current champion, Magomed Ankalaev. They had a really good competitive fight. He's very well-rounded. Nikita Krylov is very experienced, and he's not even old. You know? He's got old man experience. And I don't think he's that old. I don't want to sound retarded. So actually, Nikita Krylov is 33, dude. He's got old man experience at 33 years old. Body's still in good shape and all that. I'm going to go with Nikita Krylov by submission in round one. You know, I think he's got this done. Bogdan Guskov can be controlled. And if he was controlled by Elikana like that, I'm sorry, I see Nikita Krylov taking you down and just submitting you round one. Maybe Bogdan Guskov can be something eventually. It is the heavyweight division after all. So, but Bogdan Guskov is powerful and he can KO you as well. So, and with Nikita Krylov getting absolutely shut out like he was against Dominic Reyes in just his last fight, Maybe his chin won't hold up, and maybe Bogdan can touch that chin, but until I see it, I don't believe it. Nikita Krylov, round 1 submission. Moving on to Asu Almabayev versus Jose Ochoa. This one is an easy pick for me. Jose Ochoa. Jose Ochoa's got this by KO. Asu Almabayev is decent. He's not great, but he's not terrible. Just got killed by Manel Kape in his last fight. Jose Ochoa, listen. I think that Lona Kavanaugh is a future champion of the flyweight division. And I think that Lona Kavanaugh would knock out Asu Almabayev in 2 rounds max, tops. Jose Ochoa not only made it to a decision, but a really competitive close fight against Lona Kavanaugh. And then Jose Ochoa goes out there in a second UFC fight and knocks out Cody Durden, who, to be fair, isn't great. But a win nonetheless, and he's beaten some good guys, so yeah. But I think Jose Ochoa is a little too good. I think he's really good. I think Jose Ochoa is like a top 5 guy easy in the future, so Asu Almabayev, he's not bad. He is not bad. 21-3 is actually an incredible record, but 8-1 is better. I mean, it's better statistically, but yeah. 1 no contest. Okay. I just think that Jose Ochoa is really good, man. I think he's really good. Jose Ochoa, round 2 knockout. Moving on to Shara Bullet Magomedov versus Marc-Andre Barriault. I am not a fan of Shara Magomedov at all. I think he's pretty shitty as a person. I don't know if you guys seen that video of like him like hitting that fucking dude in public, whatever, because he was like kissing his girlfriend or something. I don't fucking know what was up his ass that day, but he's pretty shitty, dude. He's a good fighter though. Unfortunately, I will be taking Shara Magomedov because let's be honest here. On Marc-Andre Barriault's best day, he's just okay. You know what I'm saying? He's just okay. He beat Bruno Silva in a much more impressive way than Shara Magomedov did, though. I will say that. But Shara Magomedov has got no power. And I don't care about his like 2 knockout wins in the UFC. I think he has 2. Tricoli and Armin Petrosian. I don't care about those 2 KOs. He's got no power. But he's a very good striker. Very fast. Very technical. His striking is going to be the difference here. Because Shara Magomedov cannot grapple. Which is ironic. Because he's literally from Dagestan, Russia. But he cannot grapple for shit. He's a terrible grappler. Marc-Andre Barriault, he's got a bad chin. He can be put out pretty easily. But that's going to be ineffective here because Shara Magomedov is not putting him out. But like I said, on Marc-Andre Barriault's best day, he's just okay. So yeah, Shara's just going to out tip for tat him at range for 3 rounds. In what is more than likely going to be a rather boring fight. Moving on to Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. Now, before I get into this, I'm going to say this. Marcus McGee, he's not as established as Sean O'Malley was when he fought Petr Yan, but Marcus McGee is in a similar position to where Sean O'Malley was when he beat Petr Yan, so I'm not going to act like anyone picking Marcus McGee is retarded, because Marcus McGee is really good. 10-1, he's a really good striker. Oh, wait, I have notes for this fight. Let me pull up my notes. I got out of it. There we go. Petr Yan, obviously, dude's an elite boxer. Elite of the elite. He's an elite boxer. He's a former champion of this division. Former champion. Alright, I was interrupted. Anyway, back at it. What was I saying? Petr Yan, former champion, well-rounded, elite boxing. I mean, Petr Yan is one of the best in the division, no doubt. He's championship material. It just sucks that Merab Dvalishvili has otherworldly cardio and can shoot hundreds of takedowns a fight and never get tired a single bit. But I mean, Marcus McGee's very technical, very fast, and he's patient, powerful, well-rounded striker. He throws any kind of strike, knees, kicks to the legs, body, head, hooks, straights. I mean, there's no shot that Marcus McGee doesn't throw. And he's really good. He's 35, but he doesn't have mileage on his body, so he could probably do this for a little longer at an older age in this division. But man, Marcus McGee is really good. Even if his skills are comparable to Petr Yan, which I don't think they are necessarily, even if they are, I still think it's a bit of a jump. As much as I like Jonathan Martinez, I really do. I believe in Jonathan Martinez, and I have ever since like the fight before the Davey Grant loss. I've really believed in him and thought he could be something in this division. As much as I love Martinez, he's just simply not on Petr Yan's level. Petr Yan is way better, and he would, And dude, let's be honest here. You can love Marcus McGee, but you can still be honest here. If Jonathan Martinez did not clinch and focused on winning, he 100%, 1,000% finishes Marcus McGee in that third round if he's not retarded. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. All you have to do for 3 minutes is kick his leg. His leg is dead. He's not even walking on it. He's lifting it. So that really sticks out as something that Petr Yan could take advantage of. Not that Petr Yan has leg kicks as good as Jonathan Martinez, because he doesn't. But what I'm trying to get at is Marcus McGee is beatable. And so is Petr Yan. 5 losses, and like all 4 of them came in a row. You know what I'm saying? So, but I gotta go Petr Yan. I have to go Petr Yan just with who he is. And he just beat Song Yudong. If I'm being honest, I think Song Yudong would sleep Marcus McGee. So yeah, I'm gonna go Petr Yan by decision though, because Petr Yan doesn't know what finish means. So yes, Petr Yan by unanimous decision, 3 rounds to 1, 2 rounds to 1. I think that's the consensus opinion. Moving on to the main event. Robert Whittaker versus Reinier de Ridder. I'm gonna make this one quick. I got about 10 minutes to spare, but I wanna upload the video before 10 minutes as well. So I gotta get down here. And I'm gonna just say this as a statement. Take it how you want it. I do not care that this is the middleweight division, and I do not care if Reinier de Ridder is awkward, and his awkwardness may lead to some high-profile wins. If I pick Reinier de Ridder to beat Robert Whittaker, I would simply just feel like a fool. I would. And, I would just feel like a fool. Because Reinier de Ridder, let's be honest, I don't think he's good, and I don't know how he keeps winning. And I said the same thing about Dricus du Plessis when he was coming up, but at the very least, I thought that Dricus du Plessis had more potential at that time than I think Reinier has now. So I picked Whittaker against du Plessis, and I was very confident. And I said that everyone picking du Plessis was retarded. I ate those words really badly, but I just can't pick Reinier de Ridder. No matter how well he has been doing since, I just look at the fight he had with GM3, and every shot he was throwing, I just see Whittaker just being too good, too quick, slipping, and I don't know, man. I know Reinier de Ridder's big, He's huge and he's powerful. And Robert Whittaker has a bit of a chin problem. If you can touch that button, he'll go out. It has happened before, and it's going to happen again. I just don't think it's going to happen tomorrow night. Rainier de Ritter. I'm picking Robert Whittaker, man, because Rainier de Ritter is mainly a grappler, and I don't think Rainier de Ritter's grappling is anywhere near the level of Khamzat Chimaev. And Khamzat Chimaev took a minute to sub Robert Whittaker. Took him down pretty easily, but to get a good position and to get the choke, it took him a little minute. I think Robert Whittaker's base is too strong. He's not going to get taken down by Rainier de Ritter, and if he does, he's getting back up, and he's putting hands on him. Rainier de Ritter was getting tagged up by GM3, and he was even getting touched up a little bit by Bo Nickel, and I would much rather pick Robert Whittaker and be wrong than pick Rainier de Ritter and be wrong. Because at least with Robert Whittaker, there's some... I feel like if you're picking Rainier de Ritter, you're essentially just putting your faith in the new guy, and that's it. Because, I mean, at face value, Robert Whittaker wins this fight. There's no question. But can Robert Whittaker take the punches on the chin? I think he can. So, I'm going to go with Robert Whittaker by... I think he's going to finish. I think he's going to knock out Rainier de Ritter round 3. I'm going Robert Whittaker round 3 knockout because they're giving him 5 rounds here. So, maybe round 4 he can get the knockout, something like that a bit later on. But Rainier de Ritter is one of those guys where when I watch him, when I see him fight, he looks like dog shit, and he's going to have to prove me wrong every single time. You know? He's just going to have to prove me wrong every single time because I'm not going to pick him. So, official pick, Robert Whittaker by TKO, round 3 or 4. Anyways, I have about 5 minutes to spare, so I'm gonna get out of here. This card is at noon for me tomorrow, 12. So I got to be up a bit earlier for that because I don't miss any fights, prelims or not. So, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm out of here.